Hey, thanks for tuning in. Before we start, go ahead and do something that's free for me. It costs you nothing, it costs me nothing, but it's going to help me out and it'll help your self esteem out a little bit. Hit that like button. I have noticed that when we look at videos, and I'm guilty of this, I don't necessarily hit that like button. I started doing that. Whatever video I go on, whether it's 5 seconds, 10 seconds, I hit that like button or I hit the down button. Most of the time I hit the like button just to show my appreciation that someone took the time to make that video. If you could do that for me, that's going to help me out a great deal. All right, I got this gun about a year ago. No, it's been longer than that, about a year and a half ago. I got a Hellcat Pro. It came with a bundle. I got 5 magazines, I think. I got a little range bag. It had an optic with it. They have since started putting the optics on the gun, but at that time when I got that bundle, they didn't put the optic on, which I'm actually glad of because I'm starting to get into defensive shooting. Well, I've always been in defensive shooting, but I've really started taking it seriously. There's 3 guns that I carry. I carry this Hellcat Pro, I carry a Glock 45, and then I carry a Ruger LCP2 in my pocket. That's the one that I carry most of the time. The second one that I carry most of the time is the Hellcat Pro, which we have right here. And the topic of this video today is this Hogue grip that I put on. Now, if you go back to part 1, it will have the Hellcat Pro without the grip on it, and I went over it just before I put this on. This is the second part to this, and why I actually like this. I stopped getting all the optics and the cool factor gear that everybody is into now that costs $300 or $400 extra. This gun was almost $600 when I bought it with the bundle, and it came with optics. That's one of the reasons I thought I really wanted to get into the optics, and I really needed optics, but I don't for defensive shooting. I've learned that 5 to about 15 yards is the distance for self-defense. Anything after that is a gray area. And within that zone, it's point and shoot. Whether you have a Ruger LCP2, a little 380, a 22, a 9mm, or a 45, doesn't matter the caliber. Doesn't matter if you carry 5 magazines, 6 magazines. This is the self-defense zone, 15 yards around you. I usually carry 1 to 2 magazines, but I've been shooting with this and have put a couple thousand rounds through it in that year and a half, 2 years. And I got this as a memorial gun for my brother. Every time I carry it, I think of him and, you know, our life and what we went through. There's not many upgrades that I've done. I've actually kept this pretty stock except for this grip. Now, in the last video, like I told you, I will be changing out this magazine release. I'm going to see if they have an extended one or a different color, and I really don't have to do that. I may just not even spend the money and just flip it to the other side, and it will go on this right side here. All I have to do is flip it around. Let's go ahead and make sure that the gun is clear. Now, I can't change the magazine release because it's only on the left-hand side. But as you can see, this gun is clear, and we're good. It took me a half an hour to put this grip on with no lubrication, no instructions or anything. I literally just watched a couple videos. I didn't think I'd need any lubrication, and I started from how you're supposed to start, the bottom here, and I moved it up. I did not know if I'd like it or not, but now I really, really appreciate the craftsmanship and this cheap little upgrade. I think this was 15, 20 bucks on Amazon, and it has a good rubber feel to it with these little finger grooves right here. If you can see this in the camera, right here, I had to get it over this lip. It wouldn't obstruct, don't want to flag myself, obstruct anything when I placed the magazine in. I had to make sure that there was a little bit of brown peeking up when I put this on. All I literally did was take this grip, put it over here, and I started working it up. And I made sure that the magazine was unloaded, that the chamber was unloaded, and I just sat there and took my time and just, I'd mash, this side, I'd mash this back side down, I'd mash the sides, and I did take a screwdriver and place it in between this lip to kind of pry it up. No, it was a butter knife. I took a butter knife. After about a half an hour, it was seated up well enough, and I was able to get this beaver tail on here. Took the magazine, fit it in, made sure that I could, release it easily, and there was no obstructions. Made sure that the gun functioned properly. The Hellcat Pro is really thin around this grip area. I did like it, and I thought that I would, have no problems. You really don't print with it. The Hogue grip does make this gun a little bit bulkier. It's like one of those girls that's shaped like a Coke bottle. So you're real thin on top, then she bubbles up at the bottom again. You know the kind. A lot of guys like that. Yeah. If you're a man or a woman and you like women that shape like that, like a Coke bottle, that's what this reminds me of. The color tone, the two-tone color, I think really brings out how it accentuates this gun a little bit better. What I found was right here, I don't know if you can see it, but right here in between these two, this one finger groove, it's a little lumpier so that you can fit these two fingers in between. Right in between here is a little bulge. You won't really notice it when the grip is in the package, but it does make a huge difference when I am gripping this way. When I squeeze here, I can definitely feel a difference, and I think that once I get to the range, which will be part 3, and test this out, that you'll see that my recoil should be a lot less. My trigger finger, or whatever you want to call it, it doesn't obstruct under this little lip right here with the grip on. It kind of helps to shove it up in there a little bit more. The purchase on here, let's see how I can, my purchase when I come up here to try to get as much real estate as possible, I have nothing that's coming over here, and I shouldn't get any slide bite. It depends on your hand and how your hand is made, if it's a big hand, small hand, whether you'll get that. But it does give you a little extra padding in between here. The texture on here it's a sandpaper, but it's not a sandpaper. It's kind of like one of those grippy socks from the hospital. You know, the ones they're like a sock, and then they have those little grip pads on the bottom. It feels kind of like that, and your hand really sticks to it. When I go for my secondary hand to get purchase here, when I squeeze in with my palm, I'm not getting as much negative bite here, like a sandpapery feel. You can feel it, but I think that your hands will stay relatively stuck to this like a sticky pad. There was nothing wrong with the grip on the Hellcat Pro. I just thought that this would enhance this and make my shooting experience better. for 15 bucks, 15, 20 bucks, depending on your area and wherever you're at, you should be able to grab one of these for the Hellcat Pro. It seems like right now it's going to make a huge difference in the recoil, in me not having to readjust my hands after every couple of shots. I should be able to stay on target, and I should be able to squeeze off a few rounds, 5 to 10, without having a negative effect. But we'll see that in part 3. This would be the one upgrade that I would do for the Hellcat Pro, would be these Hogue grips. It doesn't make the gun too much bulkier, and I think you're going to have a better shooting experience with it not being as snappy. And with that, I hope you guys have a good day. Until next time, and you know there will be a next time, I'm out.